Good morning, good morning, good morning. Can everyone hear me? Hello, hello, hello. All right. Y'all can hear me fine? Our guy, Barry, what's up, baby? Can y'all hear me good? Because I wanted to read to you what I've been dealing with. All right. Okay. Now, I had got arrested um with my then attorney um Mr. Grisham, right? And the whole thing was crazy because we had went outside. They called a break in the meeting, and we had went outside. And beforehand, they had told Mr. Grisham that he had to leave because he he I think he cursed or something, said fuck, and pissed them dudes off, right? Got in their butt hurt feelings, right? And then when I walked outside, because I noticed everyone else walking outside, right? So I got out and I went to film. And Brandon, what's up? And I ended up filming the interaction between my then attorney, Mr. Grisham, and Lieutenant Driscoll and Sergeant George from the Tyrant County Sheriff's Department. And they started telling everybody stuff. And then when they started messing with me, I just told them, leave me alone, get away from me. And then there were other people saying, don't touch me, bitch, or whatever. I have the video, right? So I ended up getting thrown into a wall because of Driscoll saying that, um, good guy, what's up, baby? And I had told him, like, who's offended? Because y'all can't be offended because y'all public employees, y'all public servants. Y'all can't be offended. It has to be a member of the public that's offended to be disorderly conduct, right? So I ended up getting slammed into a wall, and it's on my YouTube page, and I've posted it a couple of times, right? And I have it right here too on my tablet. Now, if y'all want to see it, let me know because this shit is garbage. So yeah, I ended up going to jail, right? They took me to jail, but while I was in jail, right? Um I never got processed, I never got booked. What had happened was I got released and I was given a ticket for disorderly conduct. And I didn't bond out, I didn't have to do any of that. I was released with a ticket, which they should have done to me to begin with, right? But it didn't happen. And then when I got out, I went and filed a request, right? So this is what I got at the beginning. Oh, these 2 pages right here. You see them? Right? And it says on no, no, no. Where is it at? Okay. Right? And then I went and filed freedom of information request with the with the sheriff's department to get because I was arrested, and then they used that arrest as grounds for revoking my bond probation, right? So during this hearing, um CJ was who was my then attorney had to get off of my case because he was a witness. So I had to hire another attorney, which was Tiffany Burks, right? And the reason why they wanted CJ as a witness is they were trying to get him on the stand to admit that he was a retired law enforcement. So they could then charge him with impersonating a police officer, right? So I didn't, I wanted this information because they used this at my bond revocation hearing. They used a memorandum that was prepared by Bill Wayborn, Tim O'Hare, Driscoll, and George. And it's a 6-page memorandum that states that 150 people were going to come to the commissioner's court armed, because of a post. The post wasn't created by me nor CJ Grisham. It was a relative or someone for Mason Yancey, right? Because he was the one that was unalived at the Tarrant County Jail by refusing his medication after he told them numerous times that he needed it. He ended up unalived, and they had requested for the sheriff to come and talk about it, right? So this 6-page memorandum was used at my hearing to revoke my bond, right? And then they used the press release that was issued by Bill Wayborn stating that the reason why the meeting was obstructed was because of me. And then it stated that there were a bunch of supporters of me and CJ that were on this property causing a problem. But if you look around, none of them people, the only way they knew me or CJ is because of what we do. They're not supporters. They were all news reporters. KERA, Star Telegram, the Tribune, Texas Tribune, Channel 8, Channel 5. They were all there, right? And it wasn't 150 people. And the only people that have shown up to these commissioners' court meetings with weapons over and over and over again is them. No 150 people showed up with weapons. But that's the false narrative they put out so they can get this false sense of security blanket, right? Because no one threatened them. And I'm tired of them saying threats were made and blah, 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 but never producing said threats. Because I've asked for police reports. I've asked for everything that says that they were threatened. There never is any. There never is any. And Manny Ramirez, fuck you. He came up with one threat. One. Come on now, man. Y'all stupid. Y'all said 150 people came to threaten your safety, and it never happened. That's why I wanted it. And then Ken Paxton told y'all to give it to me. And y'all still refuse to. Y'all send me a bunch of shit. I appreciate it, right? But that's not what I wanted. Because my request was simple. Look, and I'm going to read it to you. Because I keep paperwork, man. Right? So this is it right here. Right? This is a Fort Worth. And his name is Paul Wynn. Paul Wynn. And there's a picture of him up there. Loser. Right? So this it says, Dear Attorney General Paxton, on October 2025, October 20th of 2025, the city of Fort Worth, the city, received a written request from Manuel Mata, the requester for city records. A copy of the request is included as Exhibit A. The city intends to reach some of the requested information to the requester. However, the city believes the remaining records are exempt from disclosure under Section 552.107, subsection 1, and 552.111 of the Texas Governmental Code. Additionally, these records are protected under Section 552 001 in conjunction with Rule 192.5 of the Texas Rule of Civil Procedure and Rule 503 of the Texas Rule of Evidence. Therefore, the city is seeking a ruling from your office in accordance. The city contends that some of the enclosed documents, which are marked under Section 552007 of the Texas Government Code and Rule 503 of the Texas Rule of Evidence, may be withheld pursuant to these provisions. And Section 552007 protects information that comes within the attorney-client privilege. The test for determining whether information is protected under attorney-client privilege under Section 552.007 is the same as the test under Texas Rule of Evidence 503. First, a governmental body must determine that the information constitutes or documents a communication. Open Records Decision 676 at 7/2002. Second, the communication must have been made for the purpose of facilitating the rendition of professional legal services to the client government body. Texas R Evidence 505 subsection B1. Third, the privilege applies only to communications between or among client representative, lawyers, or lawyers' representatives. Texas R Evidence 503B1A. Clients, represented lawyers, and then BCDE. Fourth, the attorney client privilege applies only to a confidential communication, meaning it was not intended to be disclosed to third person other than those whom disclosure is made in furtherance of the rendition of professional legal services to the client or those reasonably necessary for the transmission of the communication, right? Okay, now this is what they're talking about. The submitted records consist of email communications between city council members and the city mayor. Hold up. This might be the wrong one, people. Yeah, my bad. My bad, y'all. This is the one for the current one. Where is the other one? But, anyways, I have it right here. And I'll just go back to it, y'all. Because this was another one. And I don't want to. That's the one I put in for the. Never mind. It's something completely different. But I still have the email. So we'll just go to the email and I'll read it from there. Okay, yo. yo, 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 yo. But yeah, I asked for that memorandum and the thing, and they told me no, right? So now we go to the response, right? It says you asked, and he's responding to him. And it goes to the same thing. It's using the same shit, man. So where is it at? I thought I had printed it out. Okay. Anyways, right? So and this is his response, the Ken Paxton to Mr. Paul Wynn, right? Because I asked for all police reports, all memorandums, and any and all paperwork pertaining to my arrest, and I gave him the number, the date, and everything, right? You asked whether certain information is subject to required public disclosure under the Personal Information Act, the Act, Chapter 552 of the Government Code. Your request was assigned ID number 25 013765. Sheriff's Office 2025 614. The Tarrant County Sheriff's Office received a request for information pertaining to specific incident involving the requester. You claim the submitted information is exempt from disclosure under section 552001, 552007, and 552.108 of the Government Code. We have considered the exemptions you claim and review the submitted information. Section 552.008B1 of the Government Code exempt from disclosure internal records or notations of a law enforcement agency or prosecutor that is maintained for internal use in matters relating to law enforcement or prosecution. If release of the internal record or notation would interfere with law enforcement or prosecution, Government Code 552008, subsection B1, this section is intended to protect information which, if released, would permit private citizens to anticipate weaknesses in a police department, avoid detection, jeopardize officer safety, and generally undermine police efforts to effectuate the laws of the state. City of Fort Worth versus Cornyn, CORNYN, 86 Southwest 3rd, 320 327, Texas Appeal, Austin 2002. No petition. This office has concluded this provision protects certain kinds of information, the disclosure of which might compromise the security and operation of law enforcement agency. See example, Open Records Decision 531 at 3-40989, detailed guidelines regarding police department use of force policy. 508 at 3-1998. 1988. Information relating to future transfers of prisoners. 541 3 1984. Sketch showing security measures for forthcoming execution. However, to claim this aspect of Section 552008 protection, a government body must meet its burden of explaining how and why release of information at issue would interfere with law enforcement and crime prevention. Open Records Decision number 562 at 10-1990 further commonly known police and techniques may not be withheld under Section 552.108. See example. Open Records Decision number 531 at 2-3. Former Section 552008 does not protect penal code provisions, common law rules, and constitutional limitations on use of force. 258 at 3 1980. Government body did not meet burden because it did not indicate any investigative procedures and techniques submitted were any different from those commonly known with law enforcement and crime prevention. To prevail on its claim that Section 552008, subsection B1, accepts information from disclosure, a law enforcement agency must do more than merely make a conclusory assertion that releasing the information would interfere with law enforcement. The determination of whether the release of particular records would interfere with law enforcement is made on a case by case basis. Open Records Decision number 409 at 2 1984. The sheriff's office asserts release of this information at issue would interfere with law enforcement. Upon review, we find the sheriff's office may withhold the information we marked under Section 552 of 108 by B1 of the government code. However, we find the sheriff's office has not demonstrated release of any of the remaining information at issue would interfere with law enforcement at crime prevention. Accordingly, the sheriff's office may not withhold any of the remaining information at issue under section 552.008 subsection B1 of the government code. Section 552.001 of the government code exempts from disclosure information considered to be confidential by law, either constitutional, statutory, or by judicial decision. Government code section 552.101, section 552.101 encompasses information made confidentially by other statutes, including section 418.182 of the Texas Homeland Security Act, chapter 418 of the government code, section 418.182 provides in relevant part as follows: information in the possession of a government entity that relates to the specifications, operating procedures, or locations of a security system used to protect public or private property from an act of terrorism or related criminal activity is confidential. The fact that the information that may be related to a security system does not make such information per se confidential under section 418.182. See Open Records Decision number 649 at 3 1996. Language of confidentially provision controls scope of its protection. Furthermore, the mere recitation by a government body of a statute's key term is not sufficient to demonstrate the applicability of a claim provision. As with any exemption of disclosure, a government body, a certain section 418.182 must adequately explain how the responsive records fall within the scope of the statute. Government body must explain how claimed exemption to disclosure applies. Upon review, we find you have failed to demonstrate the information at issue relates to the specification, operating procedure, or location of a security system used to protect public or private property from an act of terrorism or related criminal activity. Therefore, we conclude the sheriff's office may not withhold any of the remaining information under section 552.001 of the government code in conjunction with section 418.182 of the government code. Section 552-101 of the Government Code also encompasses the doctrine of common law privacy, which protects information that is highly intimate or embarrassing, the publication of which would be highly objective to a reasonable person, and two, not of legitimate concern to the public. Industry found versus Texas industry accident. Beating 540 SW 2nd District 668-665 1976 to demonstrate the applicability of common law privacy. Both prongs of this test must be satisfied. Types of information considered intimate and embarrassing by the Texas Supreme Court are delineated in the Industrial Foundation decision. The Third Court of Appeal has concluded public citizens' date of birth are protected by common law privacy. The requester has a right to access to his own date of birth pursuant to Section 552023 of the Government Code. A person or a person's authorized representative has a special right of access beyond the right of the general person to information held by a government body that relates to a person that is protected from public disclosure by laws intended to protect the person's privacy interest. Privacy theories not implicated when individuals request information concerning themselves. Nonetheless, the sheriff must withhold the submitted dates of birth that do not pertain to the requesters. The government code provides information relating to a motor vehicle, the license plate, personal identification documents, country. However, the sheriff office must withhold the motor vehicle record of government body. See, so that's all that we're told. We find that it may withhold the information we marked under Section 108 of the government. The sheriff must withhold the submitted date of birth that do not pertain of the government code in opinion with common law privacy. The sheriff office must withhold the motor vehicle record information we marked under section of the government code. The remaining information must be released. This letter ruling is limited to the particular information at issue in the request and limited to the facts as presented to us. Therefore, this ruling must be relied upon as a previous determination regarding any other information in any other garden. So, it's weird. They told you to give me that memorandum. Right? Because in that, to threaten this place with guns never happened. So they did send me this lie report, and I'm going to read it to y'all right now. Okay? Because this is what it says. On January 14th, Tarrant County Sheriff's Office deputies standing security in the 100 block of East Weatherford took one individual into custody. Report generated. Okay, here we go. Get ready for the ride, people. On January 14, 2025, Tarrant County deputies from the Warrants and Judicial Divisions were assigned to stand security during a Commissioner's Court session at the Tarrant County Administration Building located at 100 East Weatherford Street, Fort Worth, Texas 76102. At approximately 11:45 hours, deputies were called over the radio to respond to the courtroom due to a disturbance. Deputy R. Cook, badge number 72599, responded from the fourth floor. I arrived at the fifth floor courtroom floor via elevator. I later learned the disturbance and the close proximity to the lunch hour caused the courtroom to be adjourned for a lunch break. Upon my arrival, I observed several attendees standing in front of the entrance of the courtroom. holding phones as if they were recording, surrounding an older white male who was yelling and cursing at Chief Deputy Driscoll. As the discussion continued, those standing around the two also began yelling. One individual in particular began to yell profanities at deputies as he stepped up to the deputies, bringing his face close to the deputy's face, as if he was going to lunge at the deputy. While standing closer to normal to a deputy, he would yell, "Don't touch me, motherfucker, and get the fuck away from me." This individual was later identified by his Texas ID card as Manuel Mata. Manuel was yelling the loudest and soon became the focal point of the group. Due to him getting closer than normal to yell at deputies, Manuel also attempted to push his way past deputies as an attempt to be in the center of the gathering. During this, Chief Deputy Driscoll confronted Manuel and warned him of escalating behavior and use of profanity, advising that he could be cited for disorderly conduct. Manuel continued to yell and use profane language, stating, "Fuck you, get out of my face." Chief Driscoll instructed Deputy Alanis and myself to take Manuel into custody for disorderly conduct. While attempting to take Manuel While attempting to take custody of Manuel, he ignored our instructions to face the wall and put his hands behind his back. Deputy Alanis and myself, fuck you, Alanis, and myself physically turned Manuel around so that his back was facing us, and we were able to place him in handcuffs. Once in handcuffs, we escorted Manuel outside of the building. During the escort, Manuel continued to use profane language as we were passing through open areas to the public with citizens present. Once Manuel was in the back of my marked vehicle, he continued to show his unwillingness to calm down and again continued to yell and cuss at deputies. Mata was transported to the Tarrant County Correction Center where he was released to jail staff. Manuel was also issued a citation for disorderly conduct. And the citation number is T3 T23856. Right? And then we're going on to Mr. Fuck You Alanis. Right? On 1/4/2020, I, Deputy Alanis, was assisting with the Tarrant County Commissioner's Court. I was assigned to the courtroom when a disturbance began just outside the courtroom. The disturbance caused several individuals seated inside to get up and make their way to the hallway. A lie. They this dumbass. Okay. The disturbance led Judge O'Hare to call for a recess. As I exited the courtroom and entered the hallway, I observed an older white male with a white beard and a baseball cap yelling at Tarrant County Chief Deputy Driscoll. The older male appeared highly agitated and was quickly drawing a large crowd, including many individuals who had been sitting in the courtroom. His language became very vulgar, profane, and abusive. Isn't it weird how they can identify vulgar and abusive in language but not in their actions? It's crazy. At some point, the older male was asked to leave, which further agitated his language, continued to be vulgar and loud. His behavior incited others, many of whom had their phones out and were filming the incident, to also become belligerent, and disruptive. One of those filming, later identified as Manuel Mata, began yelling and using vulgar, profane, indecent, and abusive language towards Chief Driscoll and Sergeant George. Fuck both of y'all. Sergeant George asked Mata to step back, but he refused. It's a lie. Gonna show y'all how it's a lie. Okay. Sergeant George put his hands out to get Mata to step back. Mata became more enraged and he yelled, don't touch me, motherfucker. I stepped between Mata and Sergeant George to keep Mata back. Someone attempted to calm Mata down, but he could not be controlled and was extremely agitated, screaming obscenities loud. I observed at least one small child attending the commissioner's court who could hear Mata's profane language was significant. Dumbasses. Mata approached Chief Driscoll aggressively, screaming in his face and continuing to use foul language, abusive and profane. Use loud, abusive, and profane language. Chief Driscoll requested that Mata be arrested for disorderly conduct. Mata stepped back, asking who was offended, and walked backwards toward the wall. I reached for his arm and, with minimal force, turned him around and put his right arm behind his back. When I when I turned Mata around, we both leaned into the wall. I held him there until Deputy Cook grabbed Mata's left arm. I commanded Mata to stop resisting because he was not fully complying with the order to put his arms behind his back. He appeared more interested in recording the interaction than complying. Deputy Cook placed handcuffs on his wrist, double clocked, double locked behind his back. We entered the elevator and escorted Mata out of the building. Many of Many of the bystanders were becoming verbally abusive and aggressive. During the escort to Deputy Cook's warrant unit, Mata continued to use loud, profane, and vulgar language towards myself and other deputies. He was screaming those obscenities very loudly. There were many people walking and entering the building for personal business. At one point, when Mata was screaming obscenities at him, he got within inches of my face and I felt droplets from his breath in my face. I turned my face to avoid being spit on. Bitch, nobody wanted to spit on you, scum bucket, cum bucket, fucking skeet rag, pussy. It's crazy. Mata also resisted us during the escort. Requiring me to pull him a couple of times to get him to walk. As we approached the unit, Mata leaned his shoulder into my body and shoved me into the fender of the unit. You're a fucking liar. And that's why y'all need body cameras. Because you're able to fucking lie. And I'm going to show that you're a fucking liar. Right? Because that's assault 2 times, which was never charged. So eat a big one, loser. Right? So I brought this to the attention of the other deputies who also observed the incident. Even after shoving me, Mata continued using vulgar, profane language. He was placed in the rear of the unit and secured in the back seat. Due to Mata's aggressive and abusive behavior, I rode with Deputy Cook to the Tarrant County Jail. During the transport, Mata remained aggressive and never stopped using profane language. Upon arrival at the jail, we escorted Mata inside. Prove it. Prove it. You can't because y'all don't have body cameras and y'all don't have cameras in y'all sheriff's. So shut the fuck up already, man. Right? So then we have a lieutenant enter the scene. Right? On 1-4, I, Lieutenant C. Morris, badge number 7638. And Alanise's badge number is 71572. Was notified that during a scheduled Tarrant County Commissioners Court meeting, several subjects intentionally caused a disturbance to hinder the proceedings. After the Commissioners Court meeting, Executive Chief Driscoll provided me with copy of some Texas Commission on Law Enforcement T-code documents that confirmed that one of the subjects who had caused a disturbance, Chris, Mr. Grisham, was not a retired federal law enforcement officer. Tarrant County Commissioners Court meetings are archived to the media platforms, YouTube's, and the link to the meeting, whatever, right? I received the archive video, the above link, and learned the following. Tarrant County Judge Tim O'Hare called this meeting to order and attendance was taken. After attendance, the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance, was recited at this 8:58 mark. During the pledge, a male voice plainly be heard yelling, and after the last time of the pledge and justice for all, the male yelled, including Mason Yancey. Rest in power, brother. The cameras are trained on the commissioners and not the audience, but Deputy Brown was able to let her identify the male as Mr. Herms. After the Texas pledge, Judge O'Hare addressed the gallery and informed everyone that if there was another outburst, the person responsible would be removed immediately. And, anyways, by the way, Mr. Herms' case was dismissed. Yeah, okay. At the mark, Judge O'Hare calls for a scheduled speaker to come to the podium, but there was no response, so Judge O'Hare continues to vote. Mr. Herms then yells from the gallery asking if the commissioners are going to vote before the speaker had the opportunity to vote. At the 26 minutes and 11-second mark, Judge O'Hare commissioners orders that Mr. Herms be immediately removed from the proceedings. As deputies are removing Mr. Herms, the speaker arrives to the podium to speak, but Judge O'Hare must ask him to wait as Mr. Herms is removed. Sheriff at the 1 minute and 14 mark, Sheriff Wayborn began briefing the commissioners' courts on two recent in custody deaths. After Sheriff Wayborn is finished, a representative from John Peter Smith Hospital began to brief the commissioners' court. At the 1 minute 39 mark, an indistinct disturbance is heard, and several audience members can be seen looking toward the back of the courtroom where the main doors are located. Judge O'Hare calls for a 5-minute recess and advises the gallery members to remain in their seat until the disturbance is Resolved. I reviewed Deputy Cook's report 2025-00477, and he stated that during a confrontation between deputies and Mr. Grisham, an individual identified as Manuel Mata was yelling at deputies, acted as if he was going to lunge at them, and yelled, "Don't touch me, motherfucker, and get the fuck away from me." As deputies were trying to disperse the group, Manuel Mata was pushing past them in an attempt to get closer to the deputies addressing Grisham. Mata was warned about his behavior, but he continued to yell profanities. Mata was arrested and transported to the Tarrant County Jail. Grisham was released. I requested the video from the area in front of the doors, but there is no cameras that captures that angle. I did have crime scene go to the commissioner's court and photograph the area in front of the doors. This will be forwarded to the county district attorney's office. And it says somebody, hi Carol. Incident with offense report number has been submitted to the TechShare prosecutor on 1/27/2025. The charges associated with this incident are as follows: disrupt meeting or procession. Per Texas Criminal Code of Procedure, this is notice that all digital media evidence, multimedia evidence, it needs to be uploaded to the criminal county district's office within the guidelines provided to your agency, and that all documents and other information pertaining to this case must be uploaded using TechShare, LEA. Hi, Carol. A charge on incident has been returned by James Hudson on 2/5/2025. Offense disrupt meeting or procession. Offense report number 2025-00477. And the defendant is me. Okay. And comments return per Bill Bassar. Fuck you too. The charges associated with the incidents must be filed pending DME verification on are as follows: disrupted meeting or possession, returned. Per Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, this is a notice that all digital multimedia evidence needs to be uploaded to the criminal district attorney's office within the guidelines provided to your agency. And again, hi, Carol. A charge on incident 899049 has been rejected by William Vassar on 2/5/2025. And the offense is disrupt meeting or procession. And comments, contact ACDA Bill Vassar at times 2859. The charges associated in this incident will be filed pending and as followed. And it rejected them. Right? And then it says on Tuesday, I, Lieutenant C. Godby, badge number 76159, was assigned to a security detail at 100 East Weatherford. Information was developed ahead of time indicating that there was a planned protest. That's what I wanted. And despite deputies from multiple divisions were briefed and responded to the area with the sole purpose of maintaining public safety and keeping the peace. And I'm going to show you they're full of shit. At 10 at what is it? At 1000 hours, Tarrant County Commissioner's was held at the above listed locations on the fifth floor of the building. Members of the public and Tarrant County officials gathered into the courtroom as the section commenced, and deputies from multiple Tarrant County Sheriff offices were also in the courtroom as a precaution to ensure that there was no disruption to the court session. Where's it at?
You know what sounds so good right now? Right now at Domino's, all pizzas are half off. Yeah. My name's Carla Palomares, a resident of.
Okay. I have the video right here. I'm going to show that to you in a little bit. Let me finish reading this. Okay. And remember, Tim O'Hare. Tim O'Hare stated over and over that he never instructed no one to be arrested. Okay. At approximately, deputies were instructed by Tim O'Hare to remove a subject from the courtroom as he was causing a disruption. The subject was removed from the courtroom and placed under arrest. The commissioner's court session continued, and I returned to the conference room on the floor below. On the floor below, which was being utilized as an area for staff members to watch the court session remotely. I was leaving that area when Sergeant Pussy George, badge number 71504, called out via his handheld radio for multiple deputies to respond to the courtroom. I responded and observed a disturbance at the entry door to the courtroom. A male lender identified as Mr. Grissom was arguing with deputies and appeared to shove Sergeant George. This confrontation was occurring at the entry door of the courtroom, and the door had been pushed open. People from inside of the courtroom had poured out into the exterior hallway and surrounded deputies with their cell phones as they recorded the situation, which caused a disruption to court proceedings. Wonder why none of them reporters were charged with disorderly conduct or interfering with the proceedings. Stupid. I attempted to defuse the situation as Grisham was yelling and making statements about being retired federal police peace officer. The situation continued to escalate, and a second subject who was associated with Grisham, later identified as Mata, started yelling as I approached to address Grisham, who was armed with a handgun to his hip. Mata was holding a cell phone and was recording deputies who were acting in their official capacity and attempting to address Grisham. I was talking with Grisham and conducting a preliminary investigation to determine if he was legally allowed to possess a firearm when Mata started to cause a disturbance. Lieutenant Godby, why are you lying? Crazy. Hmm. So, official in attempting to address. I was talking with Grisham and conducting if he was legally allowed to possess a firearm when Mata started to cause a disturbance. Mata was yelling and using profanity aimed at deputies, which interrupted my interaction with Grisham by causing a breach of the peace and therefore interfered with public duties. Mata using terms as such as you can't be fucking offended and also aimed profanity at deputies until he was placed under arrest for disorderly conduct. Man, it goes to the same bullshit, man. Right? So now y'all see stupid shit. And here's the video, y'all.
I carry it every courthouse and you will too, but I sue your ass because you know exactly what the fucking law is. It doesn't say Tico. Your people changed the rules. So why didn't you carry it? Why didn't you go past us? Because I made an agreement with you guys. Yeah. Okay, so I won't do that agreement anymore. Okay. I carry it every courthouse in the state. And you will too, but I sue your ass because you know exactly what the fucking law is. It doesn't say Tico. It says 926C, 18 USC 1926C. Right here. You don't have to debate it. You just gotta violate. You just gotta protect my rights. Excuse me. Don't touch him. Don't fucking touch me. Don't assault him. Excuse me. Don't assault him. Don't assault him. Relax. You're assaulting him. You're assaulting him. Don't tell me to relax. Sir, they're assaulting him. Let me fucking know. Assaulting him. Let me fucking know, and I will leave. And I will see everyone here. Don't tell me to fucking relax when you're touching me. Y'all are gonna use a qualified immunity. You know what qualified immunity? I'm not breaking any laws. Y'all don't need to. Am I gonna leave? What? Touch him. As soon as you get my stuff out of there, I'll leave. We will. And I want everyone's name and badge number. Chief, where you at? Right here. Everyone that's right here, I want everyone's name and badge number. Don't fucking touch me either. Your guys are. I don't give a fuck. Sheriff. I don't care. I would just like the badge number. Who's offended? Who's offended? My stuff's in here. He talks. I'm ready to show me your face. Who's offended? Show me your face. Oh, shit, man. Come on, man. What the fuck are y'all doing? We're resisting. I'm not, asshole. I'm not. Wait, who's offended? Who's offended? Y'all can't be offended by what I just said. Is somebody being arrested for free speech here? Yeah, man. Y'all fucking assaulting me, motherfuckers. What's your name? Manuel Mata. Shit, CJ. What's your name? Hey, don't get on my stuff. Somebody got his cell phone. Just do it off of me. You're violating his rights. You lost your qualified immunity. Manuel Mata. They're here for UCW, even though I have a license that I can carry. Excuse me, I'm not even tensing up, motherfucker. What are you doing? Don't sit here and try and play it for the camera like I'm tensing up. I'm going yours. That's mine. You're telling me to relax while you're falsely arresting me? Have you read 4615? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sheriff, I've got my law enforcement credentials in my pocket. Sheriff, don't do this. Sheriff, in my back pocket. I just showed it to the chief. Look and check it right now and get me out of these cuffs. And then read Penal Code 4615. You can't even arrest me for unlawful carry because it doesn't apply to me. 4615 is non-applicability. It's in my left back pocket. Bear County had to learn the hard way. You're costing the county even more money. I saw the video. No, I can get it to you here. You can carry it anywhere in the United States. No. We're going to do this publicly. Somebody bail out CJ so he doesn't die of stage 4 cancer in custody. What's your name and badge number? Just following orders is not an excuse. Just following orders.
That's crazy.
Now y'all upset. Sir, what's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number? I need your name and badge number, sir. Sir, what's your name and badge number? Deputy. Sir, what's your name and badge number? Your badge? Don't even know your name? Yeah. Okay, so I won't do that agreement anymore then. Okay? I carry it everywhere else in the state. You'll face the consequences. And you will too when I sue your ass because you know exactly what the fucking law is. It doesn't say T Cole. It says 926C, 18 USC 1926C. You don't have to do this. This is not violating Excuse me. Don't touch him. Don't fucking touch me. Stop doing that shit. Excuse me. Back the fuck up. Don't tell me to relax when you're assaulting. You're fucking assaulting. Don't tell me to relax. Get your hands off me, man. Stop fucking touching me. You're nothing to me. What is your name? Don't tell me what is your name. Touching me. Come up into me. I didn't touch you or touch anybody else. You bumped into me. As soon as you get my stuff out of there, and I want everyone's name and badge number, Chief. Where you at? Everyone, this right here, I want everyone's name and badge number. Don't touch me either. Your guys are. I don't give a fuck. I don't care, Sheriff. Who's offended? Who's offended? You can't be. For what? Who's offended?
Yeah.
Oh, shit! Come on, man. What the fuck are y'all doing? Wait, resisting. I'm not, asshole. I'm not. Wait, who's offended? Who's offended?
That's Alanis and
Y'all
Cook.
can't be offended by what I just said. Is somebody being arrested for free speech here? Yeah, man. Y'all fucking assaulting me, motherfuckers. What's your name? Manuel, hey, go get my shit, CJ. What's your name? Hey, go get all my stuff. Get this dude off of me. My name is Frank. Hold on, you want to come up in a minute?
He's saying they're slamming him in.
They're using for UCW, even though I have a license on it that I can get. Excuse me, I'm not even testing out. Disorderly conduct means someone. Don't sit here and try and play for the camera like I'm going to test it out. I'm the one who You're telling me to relax when you're falsely arresting me? Have you read 4615? Just a shit show. I've got my law enforcement credentials in my pocket, Sheriff. Don't do this. Sheriff, in my back pocket. I just showed it to the chief.
All those people, but I'm the only one that got arrested.
You can't even arrest me for unlawful carry because it doesn't apply to me. 4615 is non-applicability. It's in my left back pocket. Barry County had to learn the hard way. Yeah, Barry County had to learn the hard way. I saw the video. No, I can get it to you here.
Anywhere in the United States.
No. We're going to do this publicly.
Take him back there.
Do not touch me.
What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number? Sir, what's your name and badge number?
Everyone is right here. I want everyone's name and badge number. Don't touch me either. Your guys are. Who's offended? Who's I don't care, Sheriff. Who's offended? Who's offended? You can't be. For what? Who's offended? Oh, shit. Come on, man. What the fuck are y'all doing?
Wait, resisting.
I'm not, asshole. I'm not. Wait, who's offended? Who's offended? Y'all can't be offended by what I just said.
Is somebody being arrested for free speech here?
Yeah, man. Y'all fucking assault.
So, yeah, they are full of shit. So, yeah, well, then when CJ was my attorney, he sent a demand letter. But here in Tyrant County, they figured out a way where he can't come over here and help nobody. He has to have a co-counsel, right? Because they're steady targeting him, fucking with him, putting fake shit on his bar license and shit. So I ended up having to get an attorney to sue them for this. So that's in the process now. And I just I just and they still didn't want to give me the memorandum, right? Because it proves that all that was based on a lie. So, and I went through all this shit, man. I went through all of it to get the damn information that proves it, and they still withhold. So they literally, Mr. Paul Wynn, Mr. Paul Wynn, you violated the Freedom of Information Act request. You and your office, the district attorney's office, because Driscoll was not your client. He was not your client. Y'all called him to testify against me. He's not your client. And you were told by Ken Paxton to give me that memorandum. And y'all didn't. Because it proves that all that shit was make believe. It was stupid. No 150 people were going to show up. Because here it is. And I'm telling you. That's why I always screenshot and save everything. Because they disappear shit all the time. Yep. So it was a whole shit targeted to get me and CJ, right? And CJ, they couldn't do it because he was legally allowed to carry. And it wasn't because he was a retired law enforcement like they say. It's a different subsection, right? And that was their whole point. They wanted to get him on the stand to admit that he was a retired law enforcement officer, so they can charge him with impersonating an officer. And listen to this dumb shit.
Mailed us a it looked. So I found the ruling. It looks like they probably mailed us a copy of their ruling because it says that they marked up what we can withhold and all of that. We never received that. So that is why you haven't received yours. So I'm going to have to look into this a little bit more and see if we can get them to send us a copy of what they marked up for us to make redactions to. And then we will get that out to you. Can I get your contact information in case we have any questions or need to get with you?
The memorandum. Because it was just the memorandum they used at my bond revocation hearing. It was a memorandum they used against me and a press release by Bill Wayborn. That's what I requested.
Okay.
And they asked for an opinion, and they told them they had to release it to me. And it says under, we are supposed to redact the license plate and
right.
Those personal information.
Right, but it says, the information we marked under section. So there are.
Actually have what he said to.
Yeah, I've got a copy of that too.
So I don't understand why.
So we just need to make sure that we redact out everything that they marked in their ruling to us. So we'll have to request another copy of that from them and then we'll get that out to
not
you.
Keep.
But we will get on that. I will get in contact with them this afternoon and I will get them to send that to us.
What's your name?
Brandy.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is there a way I can get a copy of that?
Sure, you can have this one.
All right.
Not a problem. Have a good day.
You hand me the stuff you say you weren't never sent. That's weird. That's weird. That is so weird. And that's why I say, man, these dudes are all full of shit, right? Because they had to release that. There's no way they can keep it. Because all they said they're redactions, not keeping shit. So that's why I'm like, these dudes are stupid as fuck. But that's what we're dealing with, people. Because I did find it. And I'm fixing to show it to y'all. Where is it at? Okay. This is the press release from Bill Wayborn. Look. And it says on Tuesday, January 14th, during the regularly scheduled Commissioners Court meeting at Weatherford, whatever, two people arrested for disrupting the court proceedings. A lie. Mr. Herms made an outburst at the beginning, prompting Tarrant County to issue a warning that more outbursts, blah, 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 disregarded the warning and made additional comments that disrupted the meeting. Subsequently, was removed from the courtroom. He has been charged with disrupting of a public meeting and is being held in a Tarrant County jail. During a separate confrontation, Manuel Mata, also of Tarrant County, began recording the argument with his cell phone. He aggressively demanded the names and badge numbers of the deputies that were present. He continued his disorderly behavior to the point that the court had to be shut down. Lie. As a result, he was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and is being currently held in the Tarrant County Jail. A lie. Commissioner's Court has an official decorum that individuals must file while attending court, said Bill Wayborn. Public comment is welcome, but it must be limited to the posted agenda, the business of the Tarrant County, and must be made at the appropriate time. We are always respectful to our citizens. No, you're not. Who attend our meetings, but we do require they follow the rules and return the same respect. Shut the fuck up. See, that's the bullshit I'm talking about, man. And then the post that they're fucking losing their shit about is this. Look, my boy, rest in paradise, brother. So right here it says 94 people going, right? And that was the day it happened. It's stupid. They used this post and they stated it was mine and Mr. Grisham's post that we had 150 I think it was 100 or 150 people coming, right? Something like that. And they gave them metal detectors. You heard them. They pulled people off of warrants to be posted there everywhere for the safety of who? Of who? Who was threatened? Who threatened any of y'all? What was the need for all this unnecessary shit y'all do on a regular? Because you're fucking liars and you're used to lying, especially the Tarrant County Sheriff's Department. Because Bill Wayborn has repeatedly stated that he will look into if there's funding to get body cameras in the Tarrant County Jail, and these fucking losers, the sheriffs that are running around fucking up people, lying on them Because with a body camera, you're not able to lie. You have to do like the Fort Worth Police Department and mute it and get a complaint filed on you for turning off your body camera during an investigation. That's what happens. That's why they don't want it. And I don't understand how they can sit back and request us money to pay for their lawsuits, money to help them deal with shit, but they don't have enough money for body cameras. Come on now. That's what I mean, man. This whole bullshit you're on, I'm going to expose all of you. All of you. Right? Because y'all fucking with CJ, and all he did was expose y'all and do his job. And y'all still fucking with him. Y'all fucking with me because I've always said, fuck y'all. I stand on my rights. I stand on business. I don't give a fuck about jail. I'm not going to stay in there. I don't give a fuck about your empty threats because they're unlawful and illegal. And you're signing your names to paperwork, knowing you're lying. And remember all this that they said, aggressive, violent, they couldn't use any of that in court. They failed to prove that I committed disorderly conduct because in disorderly conduct, there's a subsection that defends you from prosecution. And it states if a person is responding to someone's actions or aggressions, it cannot be disorderly conduct because they're creating the situation. That's how I beat that. They went to assault. Fuck you. I never hit that pussy Alanese. He's a hoe. He's a hoe. They slammed me into a fucking wall, and all they had to do was turn me around and handcuff me. Nah. Right? No, it don't work like that, homie. And then, what was the third one they tried to use? Interfering with public duties. Right? And they lost all that. Right? Because none of it was true. And then they used the argument. The last hope, Bill Bassar, pussy, right? He's the prosecutor who went to the jurisprudence and said that he wants interference with public duties to be a state jail felony because I don't give a fuck about no 180 days, which the jail won't keep me in there. So come on now. And all they ended up with was, I have a condition, right? Not an illness or nothing like that. A condition of my bond. And I'll show it to y'all. Where'd it go? And me and Carolina have it, right? And it's only to help cops. That, because if we go and then they say we're 25 feet, they don't have to prove it. They don't have to pull out a measuring tape and say you were 25 feet away. Just if they think that we're 25 feet, it's enough. And these prosecutors will help them. These judges will help them. That's why I say fuck Brian Bolton. He's in CCC 9. Yeah. Fuck you. Right? That's why. And if you're in Fort Worth, if you're in Tarrant County, if you're in Parker County, or in Denton County, because those three counties are the ones that vote. So remember that. Tarrant County, Denton County, and Parker County are the ones that are in this voting shit, right? For mayor, for all that bullshit, right? And here's the rule. It's the last rule they added. Do not, as I say, do not interfere with and remain at least 25 feet away from law enforcement while they are performing their duties. And remember, there is no distance in the Fifth Circuit. There is no specified distance in the Fifth Circuit where it says we can tell you to stay away. So this order, this condition violates my rights. And it's a clearly established right. I have the right to film police officers while they're in the course of their duties. But this condition bars me from it. So And the person who puts you on bond probation is the judge, with the prosecutor asking him to do it. Because the last time I was arrested and released, because I'm out on bond probation right now, right? A pre-trial release. I was on it. So during that, I didn't have to report. I didn't have conditions. I get arrested recently, and Christopher Ramirez is the police officer's name. He's a liar, and no, you can't prove that. You can't prove that. Don't say that. He's a good guy. No, I. All right. He has untruthfulness and official oppression in his thing, right? So he said three things I did. I interfered, which is bullshit, because I was on a sidewalk over 100 feet away, 100 feet away from any investigation they had going on. And he's telling me to leave. And I told him, shut up, bitch. And he arrested me. He said, come here. So if I didn't leave, if I was interfering, obstructing, whatever, why the fuck would you have to tell me to come here? And why are you walking up to me? Right? And then I asked the loser who told me, hey, stand right here. I asked him, am I being detained? He said, no. So I'm just going to keep walking this way. Right? Because I knew where they were going. I just couldn't get there. Right? So then he says that I instead of me leaving, that I interfered because I started cussing at him. And I have a right to tell him, fuck you, all that shit. I just can't use fighting words. I can't tell him, take off your badge, take off your shirt, bitch, let's get it. Those are the things I can't say, and I know that. Fighting words are not protected speech. I understand that perfectly. So when I'm telling you, shut up, bitch, those ain't fighting words. Those are your pussy ass feelings getting offended because a citizen told you, fuck you. Shut the fuck up. Right? So it was those two. And then the third one was I have this condition where I'm not supposed to be 25 feet. And that was untrue at the time because I was not on any conditions. I didn't have to report. All I had to do was go to court. Show up to my court dates, which I always do. I don't never miss no court date because I'm gonna prove y'all wrong every fucking time. Just like this one. He has official oppression, untruthfulness. This motherfucker, and he's a sergeant now. Sergeant Christopher Ramirez. Badge number. What's your badge number, pussy? I don't remember it. But anyways, right? He was off duty at a concert, right? And he lied and said there was a drug deal going on backstage. He used his badge to get backstage, right? While people are allowed to be back there, some paid to be there, they're part of the group and whatever, whatnot. So he goes back there and starts arguing with these people. They call the cops on him. His dumbass gets arrested. And they charged him for being drunk in public or something like that. He was a fucking drunk, right? So they arrest him and everything. And he has a brother, another pussy ass cop name with the same name, Ramirez, right? And I want you to remember, keep hearing that last name, Ramirez, Ramirez, Ramirez. So his brother has at the time was, I think, a lieutenant or somebody, right? And this is why they have a rule that says that you have to be careful of how you deal with your relatives in the force, right? But even though his name wasn't attached to anything, you know he asked for favors because he ended up being put on a last chance program, right? And I think as long as he didn't break the law or fuck with nobody for a certain amount of time, he would be fine. So he did it. And now he's a fucking sergeant, right? And that's not even the worst part. I tell him, why are you arresting me? And he told me 3 different things. I told him, remember that. And the only good thing about that is they didn't end my live stream. So you can literally go right now and watch that live stream so you can hear their bullshit. Because I asked for his supervisor to show up so I could file an on site complaint on him. He denied it first. He says, I'm all you're getting. But guess who showed up? Lieutenant Louis Medrano. Now, they have a policy because Bo's Law was passed in 2021 after Botham Jean was unalived in his home by Amber Geiger, a former Dallas police officer who's in prison right now, right? They created Bo's Law, which makes it a third-degree felony for any officer to mute, deactivate, or not turn on their body camera during any investigation. And the Fort Worth Police Department developed a policy that states they're allowed to violate that policy 3 times before anything is done. And they argued with me that it's not a third-degree felony. So that's why I don't give a fuck. So this Lieutenant Medrano walks up to me, right? Opens the door. Do you want to speak with me? Mind you, I'm watching it the whole time. How he's sitting there. He's been on scene already for like 10, 15 minutes talking with Officer Christopher Ramirez, the liar. And then you have Beltran. She's a chick, right? Same thing. Turn off body camera. The other one, Martinez, same shit. Turn off body camera. Because when I notice all of them walking towards me, but they're all doing this. So I asked the lieutenant, hey, did you have your body camera on that shows everything he just lied to you about? Do you know what that lieutenant said? No, I don't. So I asked him, but you're responding to an ongoing investigation. Your body camera is supposed to be on. And he says, oh, yeah, well, whatever. Are you want to talk to me? Fuck no, I don't want to talk to you, loser. Get your bitch ass away from me. Slam the door, get the fuck on. But do you understand what they're doing? The Fort Worth Police Department, the city, is allowing them to destroy evidence that prove their conspiracy, their lies, and everything against you. So they're destroying records that prove you're innocent. And they've done it over and over, and they've allowed them to, knowing they're destroying evidence. Because what they do is they huddle up and get their lies in order. Because there can't be one cop that says something different. Right? And they learned this valuable lesson from Taylor Stevens, Mitchell, Pritzker, all of them, from the death of a prisoner that they took to jail, and he told him, I can't breathe, I'm having problems. They ignored him. They get to jail. He's no longer with us. They all turned off their body cameras except one, right? So they're getting their lies together. So they fired all of them. They didn't charge no one.